Okay, so with the holidays coming up, the holy days, to me every day is a holy day, there are a lot of people who feel loneliness, including me. I feel a little bit lonely today because, honestly, I do not have anyone to celebrate with, except for myself, and I'm quite content with that, though. And I can actually honor this feeling of loneliness, because I know it, I'm very familiar with it. And I've done a lot of work with myself, a lot of tapping. Woo! Can I get a hello there? So this is like an impromptu video just about stuff. And more specifically, it's about helping you deal with feelings of loneliness. If you're like me and you are kind of struggling a little bit because you don't seem to have anyone around, right? For me, for example, I've had a lot of, when I grew up, me and my mother had a lot of issues with each other. Very, very hate relationship. Because my mother didn't like herself and she projected that onto me, and and as a little kid, I can have so much compassion for that, and I've forgiven my mother and myself, and we healed our relationship a few years back. I started feeling better because I used to suffer a lot. I was in a really, really dark place where I felt totally worthless and abandoned, very lonely, very isolated. And that as I started healing myself, I committed to healing myself, my relationship with my mother healed a little bit, I would say. And she started admiring me, and I started life coaching her for a while, which is crazy. And then, at some point, an old pattern showed up in me. It's like after half a year, something happened. I was doing some deep breathwork practices, and some old stuff came up, and I kind of reacted to something she said, and then we haven't had a session since then. That makes sense. So, I'm just gonna put this in a nice place. It's already in a nice place. I don't know what you're talking about, Sebastian. What are you talking about, Sebastian? I don't know. So, loneliness. And the reason I was going into that story was because I wanted to just explain to you why I'm not spending time with her and my father right now. Because I've never actually enjoyed celebrating Christmas. Because it's always been so stressful and so stressed, and so I'm at home. I've moved out and I'm at home, and I'm enjoying it because I have an amazing landlady, and here I am with this high-res camera, and I'm now offering you this gift. Merry Christmas. I love you. So, one way of dealing with loneliness, self-love. Self-love, very, very popular topic these days. But self-love just means that you accept yourself unconditionally, just the way that you are. And some of us might be thinking that we're lonely because we're not good enough, because we're not worthy of having friends. That's what I used to think. I used to think that, I'm not happy enough. There's something wrong with me, so, I don't have any friends. I did have a lot of friends, but I didn't realize that I did. And so it's really about learning to be content with yourself. And loving yourself. And there are several practices that you can do. I'm just going to show you some, and they have to do with just sending intention, the power of intention. You can put your hand on your heart, and you can just say to yourself, this is a Buddhist compassion practice, self-compassion. This is a difficult moment for me. And you just acknowledge that feeling of loneliness as it is. Just, this is a difficult moment, and I honor that. And then you can say to yourself, everyone goes through this from time to time. You're connecting yourself with this universal experience. You're not the only one. You're not alone. You're not alone in experiencing aloneness. See, you're not alone. Everyone goes through this from time to time. And then you can say to yourself, I choose to be kind and loving with myself. I choose to give myself the compassion that I deserve. And if you don't believe you deserve compassion, you can just say something else. You can say, I choose to give myself the compassion that a mother has for her child, that a mother can have for her child. Yeah. And just doing that again, this is a difficult moment for me. I'm feeling lonely. Everyone goes through this from time to time. I will be kind to myself in this moment, and I will treat myself with the compassion I deserve. And what we're doing in the first sentence is we're acknowledging the feeling, we're honoring the feeling. Because the loneliness isn't something that you should be fighting. The loneliness is actually guiding you towards something else. The loneliness is telling you, hey bro, you're feeling, there's something, you're feeling a little bit like disconnected. The feeling is telling you that things are not exactly the way that you want them to be. The feeling is guiding you towards connection. But if you fight the feeling of loneliness, it's going to stay and it's going to grow stronger. If you listen to it, you can reach out to other people. You can give yourself compassion and then reach out to other people. Okay, let me check on my lentils. Lentils are overboiling. So, the first thing that we do is we acknowledge these feelings. And you allow those feelings to be there. You allow that loneliness to be there. You allow that loneliness to penetrate your being, or infuse your being, and you soften into the loneliness. You bring compassion to the loneliness. This is a very powerful practice. And you can do it with the physical sensation of loneliness, because that's where the real healing happens, in the present moment, with the physical sensation. The second thing that we say, everyone goes through this from time to time, basically just connecting yourself with other people. You're not alone, in other words. The third thing that we say, I will be kind and loving with myself. It's just acknowledging to yourself your intention, the power of your intention of being kind to yourself. And even if you feel like it's really, really hard, it's selfish, or whatever you feel that being kind to yourself might be, then just having that intention You don't need to feel love for yourself. You just have that intention, that's enough. And it will grow stronger over time. The fourth one, I would treat myself with the compassion a mother has for her child, or that I deserve, or that God has for me. The compassion of true acceptance. You're just setting another intention of treating yourself well. And that goes to the second thing. So that's the first thing is self-love, and the second thing is self-care. So you're taking care of yourself. You're doing things that make you feel good. Like, one thing that you can do is you can act on this feeling of loneliness and realize, okay, so what can I do? I can connect with this person that I love. I can call a friend. Because sometimes when we get lonely, we feel like, why isn't anyone calling me? Why the fuck is nobody calling me? But then it's because that's just the way it is. And it's because it's you who are supposed to be calling someone else. So that's the second thing, is self-care. It's really about taking care of yourself, seeing to your own needs. You can ask yourself, what do I need right now to feel better? And it can be going for a walk, it can be taking a bath, it can be calling a friend, it can be whatever it is. The third thing that you can do to remedy loneliness is you can meditate. And you can do some tapping. And tapping is a really powerful tool that I discovered. Just you tap on endpoints of meridians in the body, and you basically, it's called emotional freedom technique, and you release those emotions of loneliness. And I will possibly make a video about that as well. I can't promise anything, because sometimes I make promises that I don't keep, and I feel like I'm out of integrity then. So if you want me to make a video like that, please request it in the comments. And if you're still watching this, I also really honor you for that. And I'm really honored that you're still watching this. So those are the 3 things that one can do to counteract loneliness. And just the main thing, I suppose, is just seeking out support, seeking out that support. There are so many loving people out there willing to help you. Just, but it always begins with self-compassion, just loving yourself, and just allow this loneliness to be a time where you can learn to love yourself, where you can learn to be by yourself, where you can learn to not need to have other people's approval, where you can have your own approval, and where you can look for support where you otherwise wouldn't look for it. For example, I have like a list of things that make me feel supported, like comments that people have made in the past, like memories, even Facebook posts that I made and people responded to positively. I have that documented, so I can look at that and I can feel good. I can feel connected. I feel a little bit better, at least. So those are some tools, and I hope this helped you who are watching this. I could probably keep on talking forever because I enjoy doing this. I just want you to know how worthy you are, how loved you are, how powerful you are, and that you deserve the best that life has to offer. Everything is possible for you. There's nothing that you can't have. And the key to it all is just taking action. Please just do something kind to yourself today. Something kind for yourself today. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.